behind the hedge. Any of you ladies go back behind the hedge and check out David? Oh boy, complaints. They needed to have that man in his birthday suit covered immediately, and they covered him up. They built the hedge that he's around him now so they don't have to see him from the street. And then they found that if they wiped him with Windex every day, Windex would keep him from streaking. It's going to be a real long afternoon for some of us on here today. You see the yellow flowers in the corner of that little white picket fence over there? There's an oak tree there with a palm tree growing up and out of the middle of it. You see it there? Yeah. Very peculiar and odd and unique like love, the love tree. Somebody yesterday very concerned about the love tree. The love tree. They were talking about the 3 rings of love. Anybody heard of the 3 rings of love? The 3 rings of love are the engagement ring, then the wedding ring, and then the suffering. At least that's what this lady was trying to tell me yesterday. Here's the Collage Restaurant Spanish. Out here are the old gates. And if you look to your right when we get to the gates, you will see a street full of thousands of people. And this street, years ago, closed down to traffic, and it is only folks walking on St. George. We're at the north end of St. George right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is the old city gates, the north end of St. George. All aboard. Thanks for the wave, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you later. This next street we're going to be turning on is Cordova. And you'll see a big difference in the neighborhood. It suddenly goes from very colonial to very 1880s, and this is where Henry Flagler arrives. The wall and the moat used to go right down this street. That's why there's such a big difference. The wall and the moat, wall knocked down, moat filled in. Henry Flagler gets here, and he's developing this city into a mecca for the rich and famous to party, escape the cold winters. This big church was built by Henry Flagler for the Methodists. Big solid doors here of solid oak, 600 pounds apiece. Way up in the bell tower, that beautiful bell tower, red terracotta carved stone. So the Methodists got that church built for them, and they tore their old church down, and they had quite a bit of property, and they gave it to Henry Flagler in return for the beautiful church. It worked out pretty well. Good deal. Henry Flagler builds the finest hotel in the world, the Ponce de Leon. Today that's the Flagler College, by the way. We'll be over there in a couple minutes. This is the Ancient City Baptist Church. Henry Flagler was a Presbyterian son of a minister. I can't speak. And that yellow brick church there, built by the Ancient City Baptists, raised $10,000, and Henry Flagler agreed to donate. The interesting thing about the church is that all the churches in town agree, no bells in the bell towers, except one. Out of respect, the Cathedral Basilica, which is 4 blocks from here, is the only church ringing bells. This beautiful church on your right is the Presbyterian Memorial that Henry Flagler and his lovely wife built. Unfortunately, they built it, they were grief-stricken. They built this church to lay their daughter Jenny Louise and the baby she lost at childbirth to rest. This is the Presbyterian Memorial, and it is quite an amazing church. Open till 3:45 every day. That is some of the finest stained glass in the world there behind you.
I'm from Covington, Georgia. It's near Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
It's only my second time coming to St. Augustine. It's a very interesting city.
Yeah, it's. I'm gonna come back down.
Picture of Henry Flagler. He's got a statue in the middle of town. Actual blueprints of the dome here. Bible was printed in Oxford, England in 1886. Retired in 2006 after 116 years of service. It weighs over 30 pounds. Such a unique and interesting building as far as architecture. It almost looks like it's Italian because of the dome. Maybe a little bit of Roman flavor in there. And those big circular windows remind me of the Rose Chapel in London. It's magnificent. Beautiful building. Definitely glad I got to go in there and check it out.
You look back over your shoulder here to the left, there's a really good view of the church there, the dome. Copper dome really is something spectacular there. This is Flagler College today. It's where the Methodist Church was. They tore that down. The finest hotel in the world was built in 1887 in Ponce de Leon. It closed in 1968. Left-hand side is where the men that go to school here live during the school year in session. Liberal arts school here. Lots of teachers coming out of this program here. 2,500 total students. When it was built as a hotel before it became a school, college, it was incredible. Each room featured hot, cold running water. Every room had a fireplace. And the big news, international news all over the world, the first building in the world to have electric lights. Thomas Edison was friends with Henry Flagler. Hi guys. You want a train? The first building in the world to have electric lights, and over here on the right-hand side, that round section, Lewis Comfort Tiffany stained glass from floor to ceiling around the dining hall.
Yeah.
Between the stanchions hanging all the way around the whole block almost is a wicked looking chain, kind of medieval looking. That's Ripper chain. Ripper used to hang in the bay. It was a chain fence against wooden ships. Boy, it would do some damage. On the right hand side are the balconies for the presidential suites. That's the Ponce de Leon. Across the street, we'll be over there in a minute. That's the Alcazar, the second hotel. The one on the right, though, is the really fancy one. $100,000 today is what it would cost to stay here for 3 months. There's Henry Flagler's statue. Long jacket, mustache, here part of the middle. That's where the horses and carriages have arrived. Men and women together. Very grandiose entrance with an orchestra playing. These are examples there. 88 on your right, 88 on your left, the pink and green one. Victorian homes. Built at the very beginning of the 1900s with very elaborate porches. If you could get one like this house here and fix it up, it's worth a fortune. That's what happened right here. These folks bought this house and fixed it all up. It's worth a lot of money. A millionaire bought the house across the street on the right and gutted it, put a new porch, windows, and roof on it, and made it into a restaurant called The Preserve. It's very beautiful. Thomas Jefferson's granddaughter lived there. Well, there was one house that owned the whole neighborhood. It was the plantation home. They had about 37 slaves working here. And that old house is back there. And I know it's been for sale. I was told it was sold, but I don't know what's going on with it. $880,000 what I heard. That's definitely a fixer-upper. Here's Dr. Whedon's house. It's been fixed up. There's Whedon Street. Dr. Whedon, the bizarre doctor. He was a phrenologist. Studying the bumps on your head, he could tell you about your personality, things about how long you're going to live, things like that. Today, those were self-proclaimed doctors. Today, we would call that a crackpot. I would. Not balls. He wasn't famous for being a doctor as much as he was famous for managing to get Osceola's head, the famous Indian, after he died, and kept it in a mason jar in there in his house full of formaldehyde. That's what he was famous for.
Should've got his face on that.
There we go. What town are you from? The city?
We're Metro Atlanta, so
Okay.
we're like 20 minutes outside of Atlanta.
This little town, those guys are probably going to rescue a cat in a tree. It's like Pleasantville. Good spot here. You can take a nap if you like. That's Ponce de Leon, the statue there. The original is in Puerto Rico in Old San Juan. Here we get down that way. Gonna roll by a building right now. It is the oldest parish in the United States, the Cathedral Basilica, minor basilica of St. Augustine, and it's a beauty. Up above the flags in the grand entrance here is the statue of St. Augustine. Above him the bells that still ring from the 1600s. And we're going to turn left here in just a moment. There's the governor's mansion, and there's the balcony up there where the king and queen of Spain were. Take a look at the front door here, you'll see it. Pretty heavy duty. Heavy duty. Look at that. It's a big wooden beam that slid over from the inside across also.
Awesome.
Really made it super secure. These are electronic bells coming from the old Trinity Episcopal Parish.
You hear the bells?
Museum open today. It's just like exactly like walking into how it would have been for lunch right down here in 1798. And the old wall was some, same time as the fort was being built, 1672. And on your left-hand side is an old well from 1614, found in 1990 underneath the building there. And the neighborhood back here is occupied. People living here, so I'm going to get off the microphone. We'll try to get through here quietly.
It's kind of like one of those roads up in Chicago.
Like that. I'm from Chicago. Did I mention that?
No.
This is the old house. Built by the Gonzalez and Alvarez families in 1702. And they would have been inside the fort downtown for a month and a half. And the British were here pounding the city. They were going to take the whole city of the fort, but they couldn't get the fort. And they ran out of ammunition. And they ran. They burned the city, ran. Spanish came out and rebuilt, and family built that house right there. 2 years later, they put a wall around the city, and it did very well. We are turning around right here. It's kind of a fun little spin. See how these trains were built for these streets, so they turn really tight.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And if they didn't, we couldn't do it. At Avalais Street, we went down. There are two turns that the other company can't make, so we're the only ones that take that street. That's the Bridge of Lions in front of you, 1927.
We are going to go over the bridge.
Those trolleys stop running.
boat's berthed. Dang, that's a nice yacht. Is that a yacht? Or is that a sailboat? That's a sailboat, I think. And that's a yacht right there. Dang.
And there's the water, Mom. I know.
Yeah, friend, you're okay? All right. Okay. This is the Bridge of Lions. It's a working drawbridge. If you want to go under the bridge, you have to call the bridge operator on Channel 9 and tell them your boat is too tall to get under there and you need the bridge to open up. And there's some boats over here waiting. I can see them on the other side. And they'll open it on the half-hour mark. So we're still a few minutes away from opening the bridge. But what happens is you call on Channel 9, tell them you want to come under the bridge. There's a guy in one of those 4 towers up there, probably taking a nap. When the radio goes off, so then what happens is the guy's got to wake up, he's got to get out of bed. At the 30-minute mark, he pushes the button, the bridge opens up. Boats go through it, and he pushes it again, and then I guess he can go back to sleep. I don't know.
Across the street is the most famous sight of all, San That is the Castillo de San Marcos. Castle St. Mark, 500,000 blocks of coquina stone. How long do you suppose it takes to build a fort like that? 23 years. Long time. Young lifetime. 9 forts stood there before that one, and those are wooden logs. Most things not secure enough for the king and queen. They wanted something solid.
Alright. It's all gone, honey. It's all gone.
Look at what they're doing up there.
It's all gone. That you watched yesterday, you used it all. It's all gone.
And the show Daddy your blue tongue. Move your hand. Just stick your tongue out at Daddy.
Now, what trip to St. Augustine would be complete without a trip to the original Ripley's Museum? Yep, the very first one. Without going overboard, I've decided to show just a few of the many things to see at this wonderfully strange place. Like, for starters, how about a cockroach that's dressed up like Jimi Hendrix? Or a couple of Walking Dead characters painted entirely out of barbecue sauce. Here's a fake mermaid. And some coal from the Titanic. A mask made out of human flesh. A real shrunken head. You'll find an array of classic torture devices, including Ye Olde Iron Maiden with ghastly phantom and all. Or here's a cool one, a model of the moon buggy, the lunar capsule, and a weird and awkwardly exposed space creature of sorts, constructed entirely of erector set pieces. Now here's a Russian cosmonaut space glove that actually went into space in 1982. Oh, and here's a six-legged cow by the name of Beauregard. And his fuzzy little friend below him, a bunny with two heads. Over there is a lamb with two heads. You see his other head just below the top one? And for something even stranger, how about a headless chicken named Mike that survived traveling abroad for months with no head? Oh, and I almost forgot this little guy, a four-legged duck. And here's my wife getting cozy with some guy who wore crocodile teeth as dentures. And here she is after a night at the all-you-can-eat crab leg buffet. Apparently, my son is catching on to our bad habits early. And a few absolute favorites. This was constructed of semi-precious stone. And this piece was intricately carved out of camel bone. This also was carved out of a 300-pound solid piece of jade. Both pieces are from China. And now for some fine American sculpture. This piece hails from Pennsylvania and was constructed out of various scrap metal. That's an elephant bird egg. See that? It says it's 183 normal sized chicken eggs. Look how big the egg is. They took this crown of thorns from the same bush that they used. That's 2,000-year-old bull thorn bush from Passion of the Christ. Made out of matchsticks. Believe it or not, this massive space shuttle was constructed entirely out of keyboard keys. See? Check it out. And there's this. Up next we have this moose that apparently froze to death standing up after getting his head caught in a kitchen window in Alaska. It's an actual vending machine with ants, crickets, and worms in it. Like for real. No thanks. Oh, that looks cool. From here, that looks pretty cool. That's crazy. That's crazy. Don't look now, it's a ghost, it's a ghoul, it's a specter. No, it's actually a strategically placed mirror.
Displays in galleries around the world. Ripley's is proud to own and display them in over a dozen of our famous museums.
Coffins. So bizarre. Apparently it's a thing in Africa though. For your coffin to have a theme. And just cuz, here's a portrait made entirely of jelly bellies. And a poodle made of bottle caps. And lastly, this thing. Thought I was gonna vomit. Oh my gosh. Watch out. Oh, there's more over here? Right there. I think I saw 3 of them. Right there.
Hey, look right here. There's 3 of them together.
There's a 4th one.
Sometimes we'll see them diving, they grab these fish in their hands and they fly around. It's pretty cool, so we like to watch them. I think that guy lives up there every day. He's got a good view for sure. You got more up front too? I think you're all over right now. This is really good. Did you see one? Oh, you see a pelican. I see one right up there. That's a pelican, babe. That's a big, oh, look at them splashing away. Ooh, there's action.
It's really close.
Oh! No!
Go.
Alright, here I go. They said don't get in the water very deep today because there's a rip tide, but I'm going for it. So our vacation is over, and I'll put the hat on one last time.
That you wore for less than an hour.
I wore it for more than an hour. So St. Augustine review.
I loved it. I want to move here. I would move here in a heartbeat.
Next, right onto San Marco Avenue.
So right now we're headed back out to the old US 1, which is going to take us back home. We'll begin the journey to lead us back home. And this was a really cool place to take a vacation. I tried to get as much interesting history spots as I could, historical spots. We had a little bit of trouble with Hurricane Emily,
In a half of a
but
mile,
nothing
turn
serious.
left onto Picolata Road.
It just washed us out a couple times and kind of inhibited me from using my cameras in some of the spots. So I settled for my cell phone in some spots, like just now on the Dolphin Cruise thing. And my favorite part was probably the tour going through the town. I thought that was pretty awesome on actually that train right there. That's the train that we took when we went out the first time. Got some pretty cool stuff. I love the church that I went to. The Ripley's Museum was pretty cool. We did want to go to the lighthouse, but we kind of ran out of time. And the day that we were gonna go, the weather was acting up, so we didn't get to do that. But we got to do everything else we wanted to do. What was your favorite part?
I loved all of it. I just loved the city. It's so pretty.
It's really awesome.
This is our hotel.
We stayed at the Southern Oaks Inn.
It's nice.
We didn't really give you a tour of the room.
A really big pool.
It was pretty basic, but pretty nice. I think the best part about the hotel was the breakfast. Everybody seems to comment about that on the website for the place, and that's it right there.
Thought the breakfast was good.
They have continental breakfast, but it's like real,
like home cooked.
It's like homemade, you know, cooked with love, right there in that little building right there. What was your favorite part about the vacation, Jonah?
What's your favorite thing we did?
What did you like the most? Going to the beach?
Or did you like the chocolate shop?
Eating chocolate? Chocolate was your favorite part?
Jonah picked out some bath bombs. I love all the stores.
Yeah, there's like hundreds of little shops and stuff like that. A bunch of restaurants. We went to Harry's Seafood Grill and Bar and had the crab cakes, and they were awesome. And
Wouldn't recommend Salt Life.
Salt Life was okay. We went to that one too. It's on Anastasia Island, I think.
No, it's on St. Augustine Beach.
That's the name of the island?
It's just on St. Augustine Beach.
But it's an island.
That's not Anastasia.
Well, if you're coming from downtown and you go over the Lions Bridge, it'll take you to an island, and we're not sure what the island's called, but
that is Anastasia Island, but you go further. You go to St. Augustine.
But it's on Anastasia Island. It's on the island, though.
No.
Well, anyway, it's at St. Augustine Beach. It's called Salt Life, and we weren't that impressed with it.
The sushi was
But
good.
the sushi was awesome, and the fish tacos were pretty good too. But anyway, that's the closer for our vacation. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you later. So on and so forth.